The internet is currently exploding as a digital mushroom cloud rises over the city of Atlanta. Hollywood is whispering in terrified hushes, and what started as a simple legal hurdle has mutated into a culture-shaking catastrophe that threatens to dismantle one of the most powerful dynasties in music history. Something darker, something far more sinister than a simple parole violation, is unfolding in real time, and the shockwaves are being felt from the boardrooms of major networks to the very heart of the hip-hop community. According to online speculation that has reached a fever pitch, the King of the South may be on the verge of losing his crown, not to a rival rapper or a federal task force, but to his own flesh and blood. Unverified reports suggest that the chaotic scene recently witnessed in a Georgia courtroom was merely the opening salvo in a scorched earth war. Some insiders claim that the 21-year-old heir to the Grand Hustle empire, Clifford King Harris III, didn't just lose his cool when bail was denied. He may have officially declared war on his father's entire legacy. Fans believe they are witnessing a total unhinged psychotic break, but the whispers in the industry suggest a calculated betrayal that has left T.I. speechless and the Harris family in absolute ruins. Tonight, we are peeling back the curtain on the courtroom massacre that has left the world paralyzed. Did King Harris just threaten a federal judge? And what were the final, chilling words he screamed at his mother, Tiny, as he was dragged away in chains? Stay right where you are, because the final twist in this high-stakes tragedy is a dark revelation that will change the Harris family forever. To understand why King Harris allegedly went nuclear on a federal judge today, you have to understand the boiling pot of tension that has been simmering inside the Harris household for over a decade. King Harris wasn't born into the struggle. He was born into the solution. As the son of Clifford T.I. Harris and Tamika Tiny Harris, King grew up in the kind of luxury most of his peers could only dream of. We are talking about private jets, gated mansions, and a family name that carries the weight of a multi-platinum empire. But while his siblings like Domani and Messiah chose the path of music and quiet ambition, King reportedly chose the path of chaos. According to some family associates, he didn't want to be the prince of the Harris empire. He wanted to be a general of the streets. For years, the public image of the Harris family was one of unity, success, and family hustle. We watched them on reality TV, laughing and navigating the pressures of fame. But beneath that polished surface, some fans believed the cracks were forming long ago. The warning signs were flashing in neon red for years. Many remember the 2022 Waffle House incident that went viral for all the wrong reasons. A teenage King Harris, surrounded by high-end security and flashing stacks of cash, was filmed berating service workers over a food order. Some observers claim that wasn't just a spoiled brat moment. It was a glimpse into a deep-seated rage. He reportedly threatened violence and broadcasted the entire event on social media like it was a badge of honor. That was the first time the public truly asked, where are his parents? T.I. tried to play the role of the stern mentor, famously stating on his podcast that he warned King his behavior would lead to prison. But behind the scenes, unverified reports suggest a much darker dynamic. Leaked memos and industry whispers describe a home life that was a constant battlefield. It is alleged that King didn't just disagree with his father, he resented him. Some insiders believe King felt T.I. was a sellout who had traded street credibility for Hollywood lights. King seemed determined to prove he was more real than the man who raised him. This internal war spilled over into the public eye repeatedly. Who could forget the 2023 explosion at the Atlanta Falcons game? In the middle of a VIP suite, King Harris allegedly got into a physical altercation with both of his parents, live streaming the struggle as T.I. reportedly tried to restrain his son. King was screaming about not being a silver spoon kid, claiming he was raised in the bando by his grandmother. It was a narrative many called delusional, but to King, it was his truth. He was a young man seemingly addicted to a lifestyle he never had to live. By the time 2026 rolled around, the legal charges were stacking up like a deck of cards. DUI allegations, weapon possession, and multiple counts of obstruction had turned his life into a slow-motion car crash. Every time he bonded out, he went back to social media to taunt the authorities, calling himself untouchable. But Harris's luck was running dry. His latest arrest wasn't just another traffic stop. Some suggest it was a coordinated sting that uncovered a trail of evidence even T.I.'s expensive legal team couldn't sweep under the rug. This is the backdrop of the courtroom massacre. A father who has allegedly given up, a mother caught in the middle, and a son who truly believed that because his name is Harris, the rules didn't apply. As the trial date approached, the escalation was visible to anyone with an internet connection. Online rumors began to circulate that the prosecution wasn't just looking at King's recent arrests. They were building a case that could implicate the entire Grand Hustle organization. Alleged leaks, which remain unverified, suggest that investigators recovered a series of encrypted messages that linked King to activities far beyond simple teenage rebellion. Social media reactions were split. One side of the internet mocked the wannabe gangster, while another side, largely composed of King's younger fan base, theorized that he was being targeted as a way for the feds to get to T.I. Fan theories began to swirl about a silent war within the household. Industry whispers suggested that T.I. had finally reached his breaking point. Some fans think that behind closed doors, T.I. had issued an ultimatum: change your ways, or lose your inheritance. According to unverified reports, T.I. reportedly cut off King's access to the family's main legal fund just weeks before the bail hearing. The reaction from King was instantaneous and explosive. He posted a series of cryptic, deleted Instagram stories calling his father a snitch and a fraud. The tension was no longer just a family matter. It was a public execution of a father-son relationship. Some fans believe the prosecution was handed a smoking gun by someone close to the family. No confirmed evidence has been made public, but the speed at which the judge moved to revoke bail has led to wild speculation. Was there a mole inside the Harris camp? Some online communities reacted to extreme theories suggesting that King was being sacrificed to protect the larger empire, but these remain nothing more than unverified conjecture. The escalation reached a fever pitch when a leaked audio clip, purportedly of King talking to an associate, surfaced 48 hours before the hearing. In the clip, a voice that sounds like King is heard laughing about how nobody locks up a Harris in this city, and claiming his father had greased the wheels. This audio, if real, didn't just hurt King, it insulted the entire judicial system. The stage was set for a confrontation that would leave the city of Atlanta trembling. The moment Judge Sarah Jenkins uttered the words, "bail permanently denied," the atmosphere in courtroom 4C didn't just shift, it shattered. What happened next was a viral livestream moment that will be studied for years. King Harris didn't just react. He suffered what many are calling a total, unhinged emotional breakdown. He lunged forward, the chains on his wrists snapping taut against the mahogany defense table. "You're a liar," he screamed, his voice cracking with a mixture of panic and raw, unfiltered rage. The court stenographer reportedly jumped back in terror as King started thrashing, his eyes wide and bloodshot. As the bailiffs moved in to restrain him, King turned his vitriol toward his father, who sat in the gallery with his face buried in his hands. "T.I., do something," King howled. "Tell them who we are? Don't just sit there like a coward." Tiny, his mother, was visibly sobbing, her cries echoing through the courtroom's open microphones. King then turned on her, screaming, "You said I was untouchable. You lied to me." The scene was so violent that security had to use a compliance hold just to get him to the floor. The sound of King Harris hitting the marble, screaming and sobbing simultaneously, was a haunting end to the Prince of Atlanta persona. Within minutes, King Harris was trending worldwide. Deleted tweets from associates of the family began to flood the timeline, some claiming that the breakdown was the result of years of performance parenting. Viral clips of the struggle were shared millions of times, with fans analyzing every frame. The tension wasn't just in the room, it was in the digital ether. People were watching the literal collapse of a young man's soul in real time. In the wake of the courtroom explosion, the industry's reaction was swift and chillingly silent. Major brands that had long been associated with the Harris family suddenly went dark. Commercials were pulled, and social media managers scrubbed mentions of the dynasty from their upcoming campaigns. It wasn't an accusation of conspiracy, but rather a calculated observation. The Harris name had become radioactive. Public figures who were once seen laughing with T.I. at industry events began posting cryptic quotes about the consequences of pride and the importance of raising children with discipline. The unfollows were massive. High-profile rappers and producers, sensing a federal storm on the horizon, began to distance themselves. Media silence from the Grand Hustle camp was deafening. There were no press releases, no defiant Instagram videos from T.I., and no updates on King's condition. The Atlanta rap scene, usually vocal and supportive of its own, seemed paralyzed. Some fans think the silence is a sign that King's threats in the courtroom, about taking the whole family down, are being taken very seriously. There is a sense that everyone is waiting for the other shoe to drop. The observation is clear. The industry isn't just watching a legal case. It's watching a potential RICO investigation form in the vacuum of the Harris family's silence. But then, something happened that no one saw coming. A new voice entered the conversation, and it wasn't a lawyer or a family member. It was a digital trail that suggested King Harris had been planning this explosion for months. A resurfaced clip from an interview King gave 6 months ago took on a haunting new meaning. In it, he casually mentioned that he had the receipts for everything that happened since 2009. The twist? Some insiders now claim that King Harris may have been acting as a double agent within his own household. Unverified reports suggest that he had been in secret negotiations with legal teams associated with his father's rivals. Specifically, names like 50 Cent have been brought up in fan theories. The theory suggests that King wasn't just a spoiled brat acting out. He was gathering leverage. A dramatic shift occurred when a leaked document, allegedly a handwritten list from King's cell, surfaced on a burner account. The list reportedly contained dates, warehouse locations, and offshore account numbers. If these reports are true, King Harris didn't just have a breakdown. He delivered a manifesto. He is allegedly claiming that the family hustle image was a cover for a much larger operation, and he is ready to tell the feds where the bodies are buried. This changed everything. The narrative shifted from a son in trouble to a son who is potentially the biggest threat to T.I.'s freedom. Is it possible that King Harris has been playing a long game? Some fans believe he realized he could never be the king of the empire, so he decided to be the one to burn it down. The revelation has left the legal world in a state of absolute shock. As the heavy steel doors of the high-security isolation unit slammed shut behind King Harris, the last thing the world heard was a muffled scream. It's over for all of you. But is it really the end? Or is this just the beginning of the most explosive legal battle in hip-hop history? The Harris dynasty, built over 30 years of hits, reality TV, and community leadership, is currently standing on the edge of a jagged cliff. Was this courtroom explosion a genuine mental health crisis? Or was it a tactical strike designed to dismantle a legacy from the inside out? Was it all love? Or was it all strategy? The feds are reportedly idling just blocks away from the Harris estate, and the world is holding its breath. If King Harris really has the receipts he claims, the King of the South might be facing a future that no amount of money or fame can fix. Is this the end of the Harris empire? Or will T.I. find a way to silence the monster he supposedly helped create? We want to hear from you. Is King a hero for exposing the truth, or a villain for betraying his family? Smash the comments with your theories. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because this story is moving faster than the news can keep up with. The timer is ticking, the truth is coming, and the crown is about to fall. Stay tuned.